Welcome to another edition of Champions Speak on Sports 360. This evening, we've got somebody who's special in many ways, as he's the poster boy of Indian table tennis. Acharya Sharath Kamal joining us on Champions Speak. Acharya, welcome to Sports 360 and Champions Speak.
Thank you very much. My pleasure being here this evening with you.
Acharya, how would you look at it? This particular lockdown, pandemic, everything taking a backseat. Now, as you hit the table tennis courts back, do you feel a bit rusty?
Very, very rusty. And we still haven't hit back to the normal training sessions. I'm just still training at home with my younger brother or with my father. So no national camps at this point of time, and no training, no facilities are also open. So generally I practice at the Nehru Stadium in Chennai, and that's completely locked. That's completely closed for indoor training. Only outdoor training is happening there. So still waiting for the government to open up places, open up academies and give us the SOPs. So last 4 months haven't played any proper formal, didn't have any formal practice sessions. So I practiced a couple of days ago after nearly 20 days because we've had a complete lockdown here in Chennai. And when I started playing, I completely felt rusty and no coordination, no timing on the ball. There was completely body, mind, everything is, it's not coming in together. So It's taking a while. I don't know how long it's going to take, but hopefully it gets better now.
Okay. Now, looking at this particular phase, does this, not knowing when this will end, leave you in a state of flux? You can't join any of the leagues that are happening anywhere in the world. Does it leave, table tennis players and players at large in particular, in a state of flux?
Yes, very much. See, personally for me, I'm looking at the Olympic Games, which is in 2021, and they've confirmed their schedule and stuff, which is 1 year from now. But I don't know what is the roadmap to prepare for that, for the Olympic Games, for the big match. And we don't know if how the qualification tournaments will happen, what will be the tournaments before that, or what will be the tournaments after, in preparation for the Olympic Games. Mm-hmm. So nothing is certain, nothing is sure. We have no idea how to prepare ourselves. So even now, when I go into the table tennis hall, it's just predominantly just to keep in touch. There's no main goal in the practice. There is no things where to work on, or there's no specific idea as to where are we heading in terms of table tennis and in terms of fitness. So let's say if I want to peak in 1 year from now, generally when we work backwards, we'll know, okay, these tournaments I need to play here. After 2 months, let me have a break. Let me work, on some technical aspects or some tactical aspects, or even on the mental aspects. Then again, let me play this one tournament to see where I am. So like this year, I played the Oman Open, even though in March, situation was very bad internationally with the coronavirus. I wanted to play it because I wanted to see, that was a benchmark on my preparation for the Olympic Games. Okay. And I did well there. That gives a lot of confidence. So now, currently, we don't know which way to go and how we take it forward. How do we go ahead? So that is a major concern.
Okay, does that leave a player in a lot of mental stress? You're looking at, the next Olympics, maybe to sign off in style, but, considering, the vacuum that is there and, the crossroads that every player stands, does that leave a player under a lot of mental stress?
Yeah, more than the future itself. I think all of us are preparing, for the Olympic Games.
Okay.
So for India, it's always the 2-year cycle. So we have Commonwealth Games and Asian Games, and within the next 2 years, we'll have the Olympic Games. So it's always the 2-year cycle, which is pretty good. Imagine if you're preparing for 4 years, just one Olympic Games every 4 years, and then a situation like this is happening. So that gets you into a lot of mental stress and negative thought process, probably depression and stuff. But then for us, this 2 years since the Asian Games, we won the medal. So then we thought, okay, there's a fair chance to get that Olympic medal also now. and then you start preparing and everything's coming right. We are in the right direction, and then you hit a roadblock like this. So that itself, puts you down mentally. It You don't have the motivation to go further on. Like especially now, I don't know how to push myself. What are the goals I can keep? How to push myself beyond my comfort zone to get into, work on certain aspects.
Okay.
So that is a major issue for me. And also, I think as sports persons, in the recent years, there's been a lot of traveling, a lot of tournaments happening. So you've been on the move all the time, and all of a
Mhm.
sudden, 4 months or 5 months now, you are sitting there trying to get back. So that is also a very completely new situation, because an injury is something different. An
Okay.
injury, of course, you have a break, but okay, you know the process. Okay, probably in 4 months' time I can start to play, or maybe 5 months. You know, but here the uncertainty gets deep into your mind, and that starts to um give a lot of negative thoughts.
Okay. So how do you, since you mentioned negative thoughts, how do you keep all that away? Now we are in a state of vacuum to a state of excess is what you're looking at. 2021, you've got the Olympics. 2022, you've got the Asian Games, the Commonwealth Games that land up. So, from a state of vacuum to a state of excess that is very much around the corner. Uh, how does one prepare there, in these circumstances?
See, again, there I feel, yes, of course, a lot of tournaments will come in, because this year there haven't been much tournaments. So all the organizers and also the ITTF, International Table Tennis Federation, international bodies, and the national bodies will try to organize more and more, just to have the action
Okay.
in place, so that the sport, let's say, as a marketing point of view, the federations, the international bodies have invested a lot of money into getting the sport into where it is. Not just table
Hmm.
tennis, I think badminton or cricket or any other sport. So they have invested a lot. So all that is gone, is stopped at this point of time. Again, they'll have to resume. So they will also try to push for more events. So like for example, badminton had suddenly come up with a schedule where they had 22 tournaments in just 5 months before the Olympic Games. So things like that will happen, because everybody wants to start it rolling. But as players, I think we need to have a clear plan and
Okay.
decide, these are the tournaments I want to go, this is the time I want to train, this is where I want to peak.
Sharath, now when you look at your journey as a player, from the time it started to the point that you are now, do you feel satisfied, or do you feel somewhere I could have written a better script, or this is the best that I could think of?
No, no. Personally, I think it's been the best.
Okay.
Of course, there have been a couple of years which didn't go on very well. That I think every sports person will have, the ups and downs in one career. Especially mine has been pretty long,
Hmm.
so I've had those ups and downs. But this is the fantastic way to lead the second part of the career, at least towards the end. I think 2018, where we won 8 medals in the Commonwealth Games,
Agreed.
and then 2 bronze medals at the Asian Games, where that was the first medal at the Asian Games in 60 years, and we won 2 directly in the first one. So men team, we beat Japan, world champions, Japan. We beat them, and mixed doubles partnering Manika Batra. Also, we got the bronze medal. So that also gives us a hope that if we can win those medals in Asian Games, we can do well at the Olympic Games too. So that way, I know it's really a fantastic way to go on. Of course, if I can get that Olympic medal, and that's something which every player dreams of. And let's see, let's hope. We don't know what's in store in 2021.
Looking at the way, table tennis has been approached in India, do you feel 2018 has been the glorious year when it comes to table tennis, winning big in Commonwealth, as well as, that Asian Games glory that eluded you for long?
Yes, yes. The thing, it started off in 2016,
Okay.
where in Rio Olympic Games, we were 4 players at the Olympic Games. That was the first time India has ever had 4 players at the Olympic Games.
Hmm.
So that was where it all started off. And from there, a lot of things came into place, where, we got better funding from SAI because of our because of our qualification to the Olympic Games. We didn't perform very well there, but we were able to qualify, and four of us young. There were two young players, little older players, so that gave a good sign and a good vibe to the sporting fraternity, and because of that, we got better funding, so we could hire foreign coaches and we could go in for a lot of tournaments. And at the same time, the Ultimate Table Tennis League, which had started in 2017, that also gave us the right platform to have the right kind of exposure and the competition to compete against the best in the world.
Mhm.
So all these came together, and then 2018 happened, and now you can see India is currently world number 8 in the world, best ranking ever for India, and women also. There are two players in the top 100. So it's I think this is the best point of best period for table tennis until now.
Okay. Yeah, do you feel the pressure that being called the poster boy of Indian table tennis somewhere, after Kamlesh Mehta, when we grew up, we saw Kamlesh Mehta's name always in the newspapers. Our generation sees Sharath Kamal as the poster boy. Do you feel that burden, or do you feel it's another
I
feather in your
felt it.
cap and you let it
No, I
go?
felt it. As a younger player, I felt it,
Okay.
especially things came very fast. 2006, I won the Commonwealth Games gold medal there in Melbourne, and since then, I've become the main face of table tennis, Indian table tennis, and that has had a lot of pressure. And at a younger age, with lack of experience, I didn't know how to handle that. But now, with age and experience, I think I'm able to handle it very well. And I've got good supporting players around me.
Okay.
G. Satyan or Harmit Desai and Manav Thakkar. All of them are also coming up very well. And G. Satyan, of course, he was even better ranked than me for a long period of time until recently. I overtook them after the Oman Open victory. But I've had a good bench strength. People behind me who are pushing me from behind, and also
Okay.
it's a very healthy competition we are having now at this point of time.
Okay.
So that eases the pressure of being the expectations.
Okay. How do you look at your combine with Manika Batra? You combined in the Asian Games and you got success there. How do you look at this partnership with Manika? That was it in the pipeline for a long time, or did you come together? It was more a surprise
No,
package that came together.
it was more a surprise thing because mixed doubles is something which I gave up on.
Hmm.
I tried
True.
multiple partners with women, but somehow I couldn't make the grade. Probably, I was not doing well, or I don't know, my partners were not doing well. Somehow I didn't have it working, so I almost kind of gave up.
Hmm.
Until when the coach in Commonwealth Games, uh, as actually in Commonwealth Games we were supposed to play in
Mhm.
2018, but due to some administrative mistakes, or let's call it destiny, or we didn't play there. So
Okay.
we started preparing only after the Commonwealth Games. Like, we were preparing a little bit for the Commonwealth Games, but once we knew she is going to pair up with Satyan, then I didn't practice with her much. Then
Okay.
after the Commonwealth Games, again we thought, okay, now we should try again for the Asian Games, and then we had only like 2 months of preparation for the mixed
Hmm.
doubles preparation for the Asian Games. And at that point of time, that was when she was doing really well, and she had a lot of confidence. She beat world number 4 twice, and she was doing really good. And that, it was very surprising even for me. Uh, as a doubles partner, I didn't know what she was going to do. So
Okay.
that was really fantastic to see from this side. I didn't know what she was going to do, and every time she played a ball, the opponents were surprised. I was surprised, but then I had a little bit more time to react. So that was the best part.
Okay, does that surprise element that Manika bring to the table, add more dimensions to your doubles game?
It does very much, because the kind of every time she has a surprise element in her game, the opponent needs to slow down, and when the
Okay.
opponent slows down, that is the best situation for my game. The
Mhm.
moment they slow down, I can go in with the big forehands I have. So that was something which she liked also. So every time she could create a surprise in the rally.
Mhm.
The rally was over in positively for us, you know.
Okay.
So that way she also had the confidence or courage to keep surprising the opponents, or me also for that matter, uh, or, on a regular basis.
Okay.
Because if she is trying to surprise and then I'm not able to convert it, or if I'm not comfortable, then she would not do that.
Okay.
Then it will be something which the opponent is also able to read what's happening. So then we don't have the surprise element.
Okay. Now looking at the way things stand, do you feel now with, over 20 years there in the game of table tennis, somewhere, a role of a mentor also comes into play as you take the team to 2021 Olympics when you qualify. Does the role of a mentor also come into play big, and, you become an ambassador there, not only for people watching, but also, within the team, you are the ambassador, you shoulder the responsibility of taking the team along. Right? Is that too big on your shoulders, or are you comfortable with it?
No, I think that situation has already begun
Right.
after 2016. After when we went into 2017, the year into 2017, when the youngsters were growing up, and I, of course, they look up to me as a senior player, but at the same
Mhm.
time, I'm also their competitor. So in the beginning, as youngsters, they felt they had a little bit of this. They were not completely trusting, or they always wanted to be on par with me, or be better than me. But over the years, and them as they grew up, as I grew up, we understood that everybody has their own place, and each one has our responsibility.
Who are the players that you think are promising, or who can take the flag of table tennis forward?
Manika and Satyan, they will be there for a long time from now. And apart from them, these two are already doing well. Apart from them, there are a lot of youngsters like Manav Thakkar, who's currently under 21 world number one. There's
Mhm.
Archana Kamal, who's also world number 2 or 3 in under 21. And she finished number 4 in the Youth Olympic Games in the last edition. Then there's Manusha. All these are, all of them are doing very, very well in the international scene also, not just in India, but on the international arena, where they are almost in the top 20 of the world rankings.
Okay.
So that shows we've got good bench strength, and with people coming in, with younger generation coming in like this, we will be a very strong team.
Okay. Now looking at any player who's played over 20 years with a game and been associated wearing the national colors, you need to have some kind of good rapport with the administration that runs table tennis in this country. You have a young leader there as your president. Does that help? You are able to communicate much better with a younger president. Who's almost your age. You can tell your problems. He can understand it better, help you better.
Yes, I still remember as a young player, when the president comes in, we always were very scared, and we couldn't go up to him. They'll keep asking, okay, if you have any problems, let us know. How can we do it better? But we will never speak up. But now with Dushyant sir, he's pretty young, and I've seen him as a young boy also accompanying his father. His father used to be the president for a while, and now I've seen him as a younger person himself, and now I do know him for a while, and as a young person, it's easy to approach, easy, and a lot of things you can explain to him, and he does
Mhm.
understand what we are trying to explain. And at the same time, they're also helping us a lot. I think as the
Okay.
federation is also doing a lot of positive things. That is the reason why we are doing well as a team.
Mhm.
Otherwise, we can't do well as a team.
Okay. Since you mentioned positive things, the start of a badminton table tennis league there, the UTT that started, do you feel that's taken the game in the right direction? The lights, glamour part, or the camera part, which was missing for table tennis, suddenly this particular league brings it to prime time.
Yes, I hope it is the popularity of the game. It has, of course, it has increased the popularity of the game, and people do know who's Sharath Kamal, who's Satyan, who's Manika Batra just by name. 5 years before, nobody knew who were table tennis players, and now people do know, who are these players and what we are doing internationally.
Okay.
That's thanks to the popularity of the game. We are able to deliver that kind of performance, and that is being showcased in the right manner.
Okay.
So that is giving us the popularity, and at the same time, they're also giving us, UTT is giving us the right kind of exposure into both the professional side of table tennis and the side of where we'll have to handle the media or the
Okay.
public. It's making us a complete player.
When you look at your journey from the time it started to the time that you are now, and the various roles that or the various caps that you have worn, which was one of those cherished moments in your life. You did make mention of 2006. The journey started the first time you picked a medal uh, at the Melbourne Commonwealth Games. From there to now, which has been the highlight of your career. One match that you would, or three matches that you would pick as a highlight of Sharath Kamal's career. Which are the three things that you would pick as highlights or three highlight points of your career?
Yeah, lot of people ask me this question, which would be the best match. So it's very difficult to differentiate. So let me explain a few situations where I've been, and then we can decide which is the best. So 2006, winning two gold medals one in the singles, one in the team championships. First time ever for India, we beat the mighty Singapore team at that point of time in the finals, and singles I go on to beat a lot of the defending champion in the semi-finals, and the finals I beat the local hero in Australia. So nobody knew me until then, and that put me on a pedestal, which kept me on one. So that was my first two gold medals. So the best way to come in with a bang.
Okay.
Then 2010 Commonwealth Games in Delhi, everybody's expecting a lot of pressure on the shoulders. I was doing very well internationally, and then winning that gold. I lost out on the singles, which which was quite a. I got the bronze only. I was hoping to win the gold, but I had to settle for bronze, which was quite disheartening for me. But then go on to win the doubles gold.
Okay.
In front of the home crowd, in front of my wife, my parents, everybody there, and winning that gold in front of you, and the Indian flag going up with the national anthem.
Okay.
So that emotion is fantastic. And then coming to 2018 Asian Games, beating world champions Japan at the team championships, playing a gamble with the team footing. So I play second fiddle. I let Satyan play up as a first fiddle, and then converting it. Even though there was one match which went wrong at number 3, where we should have won easily, but somehow the Japanese player turned the match around, and still Satyan goes in and wins. So that is another situation where coming from nowhere, getting into that, putting that pressure on the opponents, going in for that gamble and converting it.
Okay.
So I think these are situations which I will always cherish.
Sharath, when you look at your association of playing in the German league, you have somebody who's played abroad for a long time, who's played in different leagues. How do you look at these experiences? Playing abroad, then coming back to India and playing here along with your teammates here. How has been this particular journey of playing in different leagues? Does that bring newer dimension to your game?
Yes, it does. It does. The main reason why I went into Europe was I wanted to play the circuit there, so that I have regular matches, I have a good training group, and it's easy to travel within Europe whenever there is international tournaments. So predominantly towards the second half of the year, let's say from August onwards, most of the tournaments, the ITTF tournaments, are in Europe. So if I have to travel every time from India, go there for one tournament, come back, there's a lot of wastage of time, money, and effort. So I had to find a base in Europe, and in Europe the training facilities are better back then, and there are many more players who could play at a very high level. That has changed over the years. Now India, we also have good sparring partners and good training partners here, but back then that was the only option I had, and that was the reason why I went there. So to get that